everyone and welcome back. Before we get into the video, I would like to ask you, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Thank you. Let's get into the video now. As we are approaching winters, it's quite challenging to look after Tulasi plant. So I would like to share a few tips that helped me in looking after Tulasi plant when I was living in the UK. UK weathers in winter is extremely cold. So these few tips helped me and I would like to share with you guys. Tulasi is a tropical plant and it requires at least 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight and warm soil. In order to provide these conditions, especially when we are planting them outside in the ground, we need to make sure, pick a place where the ground gets maximum sun exposure. Say for example, if you are living in northern hemispheres, south facing gardens are ideal, and if you're living in southern hemispheres, north facing gardens are good. They get maximum exposure to the sun. You can also put a frost blanket over it before the temperatures drop down. So the soil is keeping its heat and it's all about keeping the roots nice and warm. If your plant is in pots, bring it indoors and place it near a sunny window, or you can provide grow lights. And also being indoors means the soil doesn't get much evaporation. So before watering, make sure the soil is dry. For that, the best trick would be finger test. Stick your finger inside the soil, and if you feel the soil is dry, then it's good for watering. So before watering, let the soil dry. So basically that's all about caring for your Tulasi plant in winter. Now let's move on to growing Tulasi from seeds. Here I have these seeds from my plant, so I'm going to sow them today in my potting mix. The soil you use should be well draining soil. I have got it from my local garden center, and before you sow the seeds, the soil should be moist like this. Just mist it with water, and once this is moist, then it's easier to sow them. Otherwise, when the seeds are in and if you pour the water on the top, all the seeds will come out and the germination rate would be less. So let's get some seeds. Now I lay the seeds on the top of the soil like that, and then cover the seeds with more soil, just half an inch, something like that, to make sure, and then just pat it down like that. You'll see baby sprouts in few weeks, but make sure just to place it by the sunny window and then mist it whenever you see the soil is dry. Then you will have, once you have the baby sprouts, then it's good for, especially when you see the plant is formed 2 to 3 sets of leaves, then it's good for transplanting. Transplanting is basically a technique of placing the seedling into the soil rather than direct seeding. So with transplanting, I would prefer transplanting because I can pick the healthy seedlings, and also I can choose the position where I place the plant. For example, the plant I have outside is in a big pot. I have put 5 seedlings in that pot. So with that, what happens is transplantation makes the plants mature uniformly. So instead of having one plant growing taller and one plant smaller, so they mature uniformly. So I prefer transplanting, and basically by transplanting you are making your younger seedling not prone to diseases, pests and temperature changes. So everything is in conditioned, and once you transplant, that there's a more chance of the plant to grow healthier. So when your plant is grown to this, it has grown to three sets of leaves, this is the best time to transplant. Gently take the root ball and then place in the ground or in the pot, whichever position you like. This way your plant is healthier. And coming to this one, this has taken more sets of leaves. This is also good for transplanting, but I am showing you this how to pinch the leaves. Tulasi plant or holy basil plant, they thrive in full sun. So it needs at least 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight, and also when it comes to watering, it needs regular watering. Make sure it's not underwatered. If it is underwatered, you will see the leaves are wilted. That's when you know it needs watering. And make sure it's not overwatered. Like every day, even though the soil is wet, if you keep on watering it, the plant's roots will succumb to root rot and the plant will die. So make sure the soil is dried in between waterings. To keep the plant lush and green, it requires feeding. So I feed the plant every 10 days with general nitrogen rich fertilizers, more because we are growing this for leaves, so it needs nitrogen. So now the plant is growing taller. We need to avoid this. Once the plant grows from one stem taller, then it becomes weak and leggy. So we need to encourage branches. In order to encourage branches, we need to prune. So for that, we need to make sure once it has formed 3 sets of leaves, we need to make sure the top, if you can come up close, the top should be taken off like that. And now what happens is, from here you will see 2 new branches coming up, and once those forms 2 sets of leaves, again we need to make sure pruning is done. So that way the plant becomes bushier and the stem is stronger, and then we'll have more lush leaves. Remove the flower buds when they form because we don't want the flower to go into seed. If it goes into seed stage, then the plant requires a lot of energy, and if we don't provide nutrients, the plant will eventually die. So basically that's all about pruning and caring for the Tulasi plant. And I have also made an entire video on how to prune the plant. So I'll leave the link down below. If you're interested, please watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.